The royal scandals that once gripped Britain are back in the spotlight, reignited by a new memoir that is shaking the foundations of Buckingham Palace. Virginia Giuffre, the woman who accused Prince Andrew of sexual assault, has released her long-awaited memoir titled Nobody's Girl, and its revelations are forcing the world to revisit one of the most controversial chapters in modern royal history. The timing of this release couldn't be more critical. Years after Prince Andrew reached a multi-million-pound settlement with Giuffre in 2022, questions about the full truth have never gone away. For many, this case was never just about one man or one accusation. It was about power, privilege, and accountability at the highest levels of society. And now, with Giuffre's book out, the conversation is once again front and center, drawing global attention to the monarchy's darker side. Giuffre's memoir delves deep into her teenage years, offering a chilling, first-hand account of her exploitation by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. But the part that has dominated headlines is her retelling of encounters involving Prince Andrew, encounters that he has always denied. According to Giuffre, her experience wasn't just personal trauma. It was a window into how elite networks operated with impunity, protected by money, influence, and silence. She describes herself as a young woman caught in a world she didn't understand, manipulated by those who wielded extraordinary power. In Nobody's Girl, Giuffre revisits the night in London that has become infamous. The photograph showing her alongside Prince Andrew, with Ghislaine Maxwell smiling in the background. She writes about the lead up to that moment, the pressure she felt, and how her life changed afterward. Her account is raw, emotional, and deeply personal. But perhaps more importantly, it reignites the debate about whether Prince Andrew ever told the full truth about his involvement with Epstein's network. Andrew has always denied Giuffre's allegations, insisting he never met her and famously claiming he was at a Pizza Express restaurant on the night she said they were together. But that denial, mocked and dissected across the media, has become one of the most damaging public relations disasters in royal history. His BBC interview in 2019 was supposed to clear his name. Instead, it sealed his downfall. The Queen stripped him of his royal duties, and he has remained largely out of public view ever since. But Giuffre's memoir brings everything back into focus. The details she shares, combined with renewed media attention, are once again putting pressure on Prince Andrew and the royal family. According to BBC and DW reports, the book's release has sent shockwaves through royal circles. Palace aides are reportedly bracing for renewed scrutiny and public backlash. Commentators say that even though Andrew has retreated from public life, this memoir ensures his scandal won't fade quietly into history. The British public's reaction has been mixed. Some view Giuffre's memoir as an act of courage, a woman reclaiming her voice and telling her story despite years of attacks and doubt. Others see it as reopening old wounds, questioning why she's chosen this moment to speak out again. But there's no denying the timing. With the monarchy already facing pressure from internal scandals and shifting public attitudes, Giuffre's story comes as another blow to an institution struggling to maintain its image of stability and moral authority. The book's publication also raises questions about the wider implications of the Epstein scandal, which continues to haunt not just the UK, but the United States as well. Epstein's death in prison in 2019 left many questions unanswered, and while Ghislaine Maxwell is serving a 20-year sentence for sex trafficking, the full extent of their network's reach remains murky. Giuffre's new revelations don't just target Prince Andrew. They highlight how many powerful figures escaped accountability. In her memoir, Giuffre describes the years after her escape from Epstein's control as a battle for truth. She talks about the toll of coming forward, the trauma of being disbelieved, and the constant legal and media battles she's faced. But she also writes about healing and reclaiming her narrative. Her decision to title the book Nobody's Girl reflects that transformation, from being seen as a victim to being recognized as a survivor. For Prince Andrew, however, the book is a nightmare that won't end. Reports from British media indicate that his legal team is carefully reviewing the memoir. Though they have not issued any formal response, Andrew continues to deny all allegations and maintains that the 2022 settlement was not an admission of guilt. Still, every new revelation keeps the story alive, making it harder for him to quietly rebuild his reputation. And the repercussions go far beyond one royal. The case continues to spark broader discussions about justice, power, and privilege. Why do certain individuals seem untouchable? How much influence does wealth have over legal outcomes? And what does it mean for the British monarchy when one of its own becomes entangled in such a scandal? These questions cut to the core of public trust, not only in the royal family but in the systems meant to protect ordinary people. Internationally, the story is resonating again. In the United States, where Epstein's crimes first came to light, Giuffre's memoir is being seen as an important piece of the puzzle, a first-hand testimony that adds depth to the historical record of the case. In the UK, however, it's reigniting a familiar tension, the monarchy's need for privacy versus the public's demand for accountability. For years, British media were cautious about reporting details of the case, often due to legal pressures. But now, with Giuffre herself speaking openly, the conversation is expanding beyond tabloids and into mainstream political debate. At its heart, this story isn't just about royalty. It's about the intersection of power, gender, and justice. It's about a young woman's fight to be heard and a powerful man's effort to preserve his name. It's about how institutions handle scandal and how society chooses whom to believe. For viewers watching this unfold, the key question remains: what happens next? Will this memoir lead to renewed investigations? Could it further isolate Prince Andrew, or even force the royal family to address the issue publicly again? So far, the palace has remained silent, following the same strategy it often uses during controversy: say nothing and wait for the storm to pass. But this time, the storm may last longer. Giuffre's story is not going away. Her voice, once silenced, now echoes louder than ever. And for Prince Andrew, that means the shadow of this scandal will likely follow him for the rest of his life. In a world where public perception shapes legacy, silence may no longer be enough to protect him. As the book continues to make waves across global headlines, one thing is certain: this is more than a royal scandal. It's a reckoning, a reminder that even the most powerful families on earth cannot escape the consequences of their past forever. And as history shows, when truth and power collide, it's always the truth that leaves the deepest mark.